Nityanandam, ici Anne-Marie. Swamiji again this morning mentioned the fact that it was useless to learn how to write, and he knew it since childhood. He knew that soon he would have all kinds of iPads at his disposal, so he didn't have to spend time learning how to write when he could just make deities and adorn them. As for me, I was born a little earlier. Internet and iPad didn't exist at the time. And when I arrived in the boarding school, in a Catholic boarding school with nuns, I was 7, and I had a very nice handwriting, but with my left hand. I was left-handed. And I don't know for which reason, but the nuns disapproved of it. So they decided that I should learn how to write with my right hand. And they chose the right time for it. That means during playtime, the others would go and play in the yard, and I would be at school, in the classroom, struggling with my right hand. And one day, we were supposed to do a long paper, at least one page, and I decided it was too long, so I used my left hand and did it very quickly. And as soon as the nun saw that it was nicely written, meant with my left hand, she tore the page and she said, "Do it again." So that's the difference between the Gurukul and the Catholic boarding school. Education and initiation. And I remember another time I had found a nice little drawing pencil, and if you wet it, it looked like painting, so that was just a miracle for me, and I decided to use it. But it was a red pencil, and there was nothing red to be painted, because we used to paint the mass, the ritual, and so the priest would have different habits, but there was no red at this time of the year, so I didn't know what to do. And then I found one image where the priest was like that, this way, and so I decided to paint in red all their nails. And so I did 3 times, because we could see them 3 times with their both hands like that, and I was very happy with it. And the day after, the priest came to do his class, and he asked me what is the color of my hands. And it was strange, because his hands, they were like white, yellow, pink, and I couldn't tell him that his hands looked like an Italian ice cream, Napolitan ice cream. So I kept quiet. But then the real question arrived, and he said, "Are my nails red?" And I knew that the time had come for me to be punished. He didn't do any more, but as soon as he left, during the recreation time, we were going round and round chanting, singing, not chanting, to keep warm because it was winter. And at one point, the nun made us all stop, and then she called me and she said, "And now you kneel down in front of everyone and you ask forgiveness for having made such a big error, such a big sin." And I must have been, I don't know, 8 or 9 at the time. But even at that age, when things were too stupid, I couldn't just comply with them. So I just looked at the nun and didn't even move. And so she tried to press me, saying, "Yeah, if you don't do it, they're going to wait and they're going to catch cold and it'll be your fault." And I still didn't move. So they ended up by putting me in a corner, and I don't remember the rest, because it was too stupid. And so I was proud later on of being able to write with my 2 hands. And actually, when I broke my wrist, I was happy to be able to go on writing with my left hand. Oh, I forgot. There is an advantage about being able to use both your hands, is that you can draw with both hands. So I can draw with my right hand and left hand. That's great. But it's so different from the world that Swamiji is offering the Balasans. And this is why he told us in Inner Awakening during the death process that he will be there at the time of our departure, and that he would give us enlightenment, or we could choose to come back one last time and have a conscious birth. And I do want to come back. I do want to go to the Gurukul, and I do want to create havoc there, because I have been so docile, so obedient, so everything when I was a kid. I want to really explode everything around me. And in Swamiji's ambiance, it can't be bad. It can just be very lively and activist and whatever. I am waiting for that time to come. And okay, I do write with both hands. It's a little useless. That's the way it is. Nityanandam.